what matters most to you? So I get these questions about, your diet's really restrictive. I want to have these things. I want to have my chocolate, my ice cream, my wine, my beers, whatever the fuck it might be. Why can't I have them? And the question becomes, well, where do your priorities lie? What truly is important to you? And I find that this is a conversation that spans more than just this statement for you. More than just this question around your choices and things like this, and expands into absolutely everything that we do. Well, because it then has ramifications into other areas of your life. And I think in every aspect, from work to nutrition to exercise to life choices in general, what matters most to you? And don't get me wrong, it means that there are hard decisions that need to be made, and you will butt up against other people's opinions and point of views on these kinds of things. But you need to work out what is truly, truly important to you. What do you value most? And then stand firm in those decisions. Stand firm in those choices. And I think a lot is revealed in how firm you are in those decisions when you're placed in situations where those temptations become real, where you have to stand firm and you have to potentially get confrontational with people about what matters most to you. And for whatever reason, nutrition and stuff like this is that hyper polarizing one. That everyone has differing views on it. And there is this constant argument about, well, it's not that bad. Well, is that true? Is that a true fucking statement? Because most of the time, well, yeah, it is actually that bad. It is actually that horrendous choice. But because we look at it in this microcosm, we're like, oh, no, it's not. It's not that bad. It's not a big deal. But for most people, it's also not just a one-off thing. Yeah, one glass of wine once in a blue moon. Yeah, on the spectrum of life isn't that bad. But nearly every single time, I can guarantee that it isn't just that one glass of wine. It isn't just that one thing. And it becomes this point of, I actually find it hyper disrespectful. And I've had this argument with family, I've had this argument with friends, and it is a harsh view, but the longer I am in this game, and especially since having children, the more I believe it to be the truth. That when we make selfish decisions, that it is disrespectful to the people who love you, who care for you, who support you, when you make these selfish choices. And look, I'm probably more amped up on this than normal, and I'm feeling with an internal battle and frustration right now because of this, because I have just right today had a battle with someone, and it's not about mine, it's about my children's. I don't want my children eating sugar. I don't want them eating processed crap. And that's not me being mean, that's not me being a dick, that's not me depriving my children, as people like to inform me. That is choosing the higher path. That is me choosing my children's health and future and happiness over giving them little treats. And the problem is that, as I said, once in a blue moon, sure, why not? But it becomes a thing that it's never just once in a blue moon. And it's why I get frustrated with this kind of stuff, because I find it disrespectful that other people will want to enforce their points of view on you. And this is one of those ones where you have to stand firm. You have to be strong in your conviction about what you believe and know to be true. Because, well, when you undertake something like this, you are going to buck the system. It is outside the norm, and people won't understand. People will judge you. And you will have to fight for them, because they think just because it's normal, just because that's what the majority do, that it's okay. And I'm here to tell you that it's fucking not. But you will have to be willing to have these fights. You will have to be willing to have these disagreements. Have to be willing to push through those things and stand firm in it. And I think the other is within yourself. So as a father, as someone who has people who depend on you, who love and adore you, who support you, I think it's disrespectful to choose things that are not going to allow you to be the best version of yourself. That comes with the nutrition, that comes with the foods you eat, that comes with the exercise, that comes with even just being the best version of yourself. I think you choosing easy and convenient and instant gratification is the height of disrespect to those who care and love for you. And I am sure I will get pushback on this, and I'm okay with that, because, well, to be honest, we aren't here to be fucking average. We aren't here to fit in with the crowd. Look at the average person these days. Look at how sad their life is. And this is the one I had, and I have it with my father, and I have it with some of my other, they're the husbands of clients, or they're, the fathers of clients and things like this. And we have this discussion of, they're like, well, I'd rather eat the way I like and be happy. And I'm like, well, how fucking sad is your life if your happiness is dependent on food? That you're willing to die sooner, you're willing to sacrifice time with your kids, with your wife, with friends, with family, with any of that, to fucking have a beer, to have some wine, to have some chocolate, whatever it might be. That what's the point of life if I can't have my indulgences? Well, I think if that's honestly how you feel about the situation, you need to strongly reflect on where the fuck you are in life. Because if that's the definition of joy you get from it, that you need to have chocolate every single day, or you need to have beer every day, or whatever the fuck that indulgence is, you need to take a real hard look at what you value in your life. Because that is a sad fucking reflection. And I think it's disrespectful. I think it's disrespectful and downright rude to those who love you that you would choose those things over it. As I said, I'm dealing with this myself. That's my father's point of view. And I'm like, you have kids, you have grandkids, but a life without chocolate isn't a life worth living. That's sad, and yet it's a scarily common thought process that people are like, oh yeah, what the fuck's the point if I can't have those things? Well, I think you need to reevaluate where you get your value from. I think you need to reevaluate what's important in your life. I think you need to reevaluate true enjoyment and satisfaction and bliss and all these kinds of things. Because, well, that's not a life. That's you coping and hiding and running from life. And I think that's truly where we need to get to with these thought processes around dopamine chasing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's an easy decision. I'm not saying that it's easy to do this, but it's fucking simple. It's like all of this stuff. It's not easy, but it's simple. That we need to break free from these concepts and realize that dopamine chasing, in whatever format you want to put it down to, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, whether it's porn, whether it's doom scrolling, whether it's TV, whatever the fuck it is, any of those forms is a form of sedation and avoidance of your life. And I'm not saying that you can transform every aspect of your life like that. You can't just turn it on and be like, my life's fucking wonderful, and I wake up every day looking forward to it if you're in that deep, deep trenches of that. But fuck me, do I think it should be something that we are looking to pursue. We should be looking to build the best life possible. That we should be looking to build a life that we don't have to run and hide from. And I know that seems optimistic, and I get people and they're like, well, you don't know where I'm at in life. And I'm like, no, I don't. But I know that your life will get fucking better when you start making better decisions. That you will start to push forward in life once you start to recognize that this isn't the answer. And look, getting into great shape, choosing better things on nutrition, all that kind of stuff, starting with chasing greatness, isn't going to transform every aspect of your life. But being in great fucking shape is a hell of a good place to start. So much of your life will get better. So much of your life will get easier. So much of your life will become more fulfilling because you have the options and the choices to do things. And on top of that, as we've discussed before, exercise increases your capacity for joy. It increases your capacity for the dopamine release to enjoy more of life. So we've got to fucking start there. And once you get that, then you can start extending out. And once you get there, you can start pushing into the other areas of your life. But you can't do that until you get to that section first, until you get into great shape, until you've done that kind of work first. None of the rest matters, but until you are truly honest with yourself about what matters most, and then you bring that constantly to the forefront of your decisions. When you are looking at things, because we talk about it all the time, the tree falls the way it leans. And that's why I'm hyper harsh on this, because it isn't once in a blue moon. Everyone's like, oh no, I'm on my, diet, which is a whole other argument, we'll have another day. But I'm on my diet most of the time. But once you actually dig into it, it's not most of the time. It's not even close to most of the time. As I say, I allow 10 days off for free eating in a 126-day period. That's 10%. So 90% of the time I'm on. But people look at that and go, that's fucking insane. No one can do that. That's too restrictive. That's craziness. And I'm like, this is the point. You are not on 90% of the time. You are not making the choices the majority of the time to look after yourself, to be in the best shape possible. You are not making those choices despite what you think, despite how you feel on this thing. That's not what's actually transpiring. So, yeah, you need to do better. Yeah, you need to start honestly making real decisions about what matters to you and what's important. And start choosing to be the best version of yourself. You need to stop disrespecting those who care about you, because that is what this is. I cannot emphasize this enough, that you are showing the highest form of disrespect by not being the best version of yourself. If you have anyone who loves and cares for you, you owe it to them to be the best version of yourself. And you cannot be that unless you are in good shape. And I always come back to this. Good shape will vary from person to person. My definition of being in good shape is, for myself, is very different to the next person. But you have to look after your health and fitness. You have to put that first. You have to Give yourself the best opportunity to wake up every day with an abundance of energy, to feel fucking good, to be able to do anything you want at any time. And it opens up your capacity, as I said, for more joy, for more happiness in your life. It gives you the opportunity to take on anything. And the more you do it, the less I find you're attracted to sedation and things that are going to take you out of feeling that, especially with food. Especially with food. I was having a discussion with one of my clients this morning about this, because they're about to enter the phase where they do get their first 10 days, 10 days where they can choose freely. And I was like, be careful with this. And they're like, why? It's going to be good. And I was like, you're going to feel like shit. You've now cleansed yourself, and you are going to realize how fucking bad those choices make you feel. And yet, there is such a massive dopamine reward from it that it can be addictive. It can override it, but you will feel like shit for a week. And because of the way your body responds to this, it'll go, well, have some more of it. You'll feel better. And this is the trap that we fall into. But every time that comes back up, I think you need to look back and you need to remember what truly matters to you. What is your highest value? And for me, it's my family. It's my wife and my 2 kids. That is the number one thing in my entire world. It's the thing that matters most to me in every aspect. So it means I need to put my health first and foremost so that I can be the best version for them. It means I need to stand firm in looking after their health as well, against people who think that they are doing a loving and kind thing, but it's actually rude and disrespectful. Because that little bit of sugar isn't just a nicety. It's a thing that is actually hurting them. It's a thing that we need to look at it as, and it's a really fucking harsh way to do it, and everyone's going to push back on it, but you need to look at it like alcohol is. It's poisoning you. It's damaging you. And why would you damage the thing that matters most to you? The thing that provides you everything that allows you to live this life, or if you, for your children, for them to develop into the best version of themselves. Why would you let that happen? So yeah, it means you need to figure out what values most to you and then stand really fucking firm in those decisions. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to challenge you and you're going to have battles against it. But when you start progressing into being the greatest version of yourself, you realize that you cannot fit in with the society anymore, because the average person in society is, well, sedating, is addicted, is wasting their potential. As I said, just working out in terms of health and fitness puts you into like the top 5% of the population. It doesn't even matter if it's good, bad, or otherwise. Just the fact that you exercise more than 3 times a week puts you into that top 5%. Think about that. Think about how crazy that is. So yeah, you're going to stand out. Yeah, you're going to have to battle for your beliefs now. And it's going to be hard as you are changing them, as you are stepping into the best version of yourself. That's going to be a real fucking struggle. But it's a struggle that's worthwhile. It's a struggle that needs to be undertaken. It's a struggle that you must participate in. Because this is bigger than you. This isn't about you. This is about those who care about you, those who love you, those who support you. It's about being the best version for them. So it will be hard, but if you have the fortitude to stand strong in them, they will reap the rewards, because it's bigger than just right here, right now. This is about the long term. This is about your future and their future, and showing up as the greatest version of themselves. So if you know that you need to do better, you need to step forward, and you need to step into being the greatest version of yourself, shoot me a message. Let's start with chasing greatness. Let's get you into a 6-week program and see who you can become when you go all in on yourself. If you're not quite there yet, click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. And lastly, If this spoke to you, if you enjoyed it, if you know someone else who needs to hear this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. But most importantly, hit that subscribe button. The majority of people who are watching this are not subscribed. And like everything in Chasing Greatness Daily, I will be here every single day. I do not miss, and I will be here every day to share from the front, to share the lessons I'm learning, to share truth and honesty as I see it in this world. And I don't want you to miss one. So hit that subscribe button, because I'll be back again tomorrow. Until then.